It was a chilly afternoon, the kind that makes you pull your scarf a little tighter around your neck. The street was calm, a few leaves dancing in the wind, a gentle reminder of the changing seasons. Have you ever noticed how some days just feel quieter, more reflective? On such an afternoon, a man noticed an elderly woman walking slowly along the sidewalk. Her coat was a soft shade of beige, her scarf neatly tied, her posture slightly stooped, yet she carried herself with an undeniable, quiet dignity. You could sense a lifetime of stories in her gaze. He smiled, a genuine, warm smile, and said, "Excuse me, ma'am. May I stop you for just 2 seconds? You look absolutely lovely." The woman turned, surprised but visibly flattered, and gave a warm, gentle smile that truly could melt the coldest day. It was a simple moment, yet profound. Her name was Eleanor. She was 87 years old, and what she shared in the next few minutes revealed a truth so tender and so painful that it touches everyone who has ever feared growing old alone. It's a story you need to hear, a story about the quiet courage of growing old. Eleanor had never been married. She had lived her entire life by herself, not because she wanted to, but because, as she softly put it, life just turned out that way. Perhaps you, too, have felt life take unexpected turns, leading you down a path you hadn't envisioned. She smiled faintly, brushing a strand of gray hair from her face, and added, "I've had friends, yes, lovely people. But when the evening comes, you still come home to an empty house." Her words carried that quiet ache only those who've felt true loneliness can understand. Her mother had passed away over 30 years ago. Her father, gone even longer. "Since then," she said, "I've been on my own." Imagine the strength it takes to navigate decades of life, making decisions, celebrating milestones, and facing challenges, all by yourself. She paused for a moment, then looked off into the distance. "It's funny," she said. "You get used to it, until winter comes. Then it hits harder. The silence feels louder somehow. The change of seasons can often amplify our deepest feelings, can't it? And yet, despite the profound solitude, Eleanor had not lost her warmth. She still smiled. She still dressed nicely to go out, even if it was just for a short walk to the store. She said, "You have to get on with things. Try not to let life get you down," though it can, sometimes. Her strength was quiet, but it was beautiful. She wasn't bitter. She wasn't angry. She had simply accepted that life gives us some seasons that we must walk through alone. What does it mean to you to find such dignity and acceptance? She used to have a best friend. Her name was Margaret, whom she met at a local church group decades ago. For over 20 years, they spent nearly every weekend together. Think about those friendships that have shaped your life, the ones that feel like family. Every Christmas, they had a tradition. Eleanor would visit Margaret for Christmas Day. "Because she was a better cook than I ever was," she laughed. And Margaret would come to Eleanor's home the next day for Boxing Day. Shared rituals create such strong bonds, don't they? They would exchange small gifts, talk about the old times, and end the night watching the snow fall through the window. These simple, recurring moments become the fabric of our lives, woven with love and shared memories. But 2 years ago, Margaret passed away. And just like that, Eleanor said, Christmas became the hardest day of the year. The loss of such a deep connection leaves an irreplaceable void, especially during times meant for togetherness. When asked if she still saw anyone else, perhaps neighbors or family, she shook her head. "Most people my age have their own families, their own lives. You don't want to intrude." It's a common sentiment, this fear of being a burden, isn't it? But still, I would love to be part of a family again. You miss quite a lot when you're on your own. Her voice trembled, and for a moment, she looked like a little girl again, longing for connection, for warmth, for someone to ask how her day had been. Then she began to tell a story from long ago, a story of love that almost was. She remembered a young man she met during a seaside vacation when she was in her 20s. His name was William. though everyone called him Will. He was kind, with dark hair and gentle eyes. They'd gone on long walks by the beach, talking about books, dreams, and the future. Those early days of budding romance, filled with endless conversations and shared hopes, are so vivid in our memories, aren't they? When the vacation ended, Will returned to England, but wrote her letters every week, asking if she'd consider being with him. Properly, as he'd written, the anticipation of a letter, the weight of a choice, a future hanging in the balance. Her heart said yes, but her family, deeply traditional, said no, because of religion, because of distance, because of fear. How often do family expectations or societal pressures influence our most personal decisions, even those of the heart? Eleanor whispered, "My mother was afraid someone would hurt me, and I was afraid of disappointing her. So I let him go." She smiled sadly. "He even asked me once more, but I said no." I still remember his handwriting on that letter. Neat, careful, hopeful. She kept that letter for years, hidden in a drawer, until one day she moved houses and never found it again. But she said, "I still remember his name and the way I felt when I read his words. I suppose that was my one chance at love, and I turned it down." The man interviewing her stayed quiet, his eyes soft with understanding. Sometimes silence speaks more than words ever could. It's in those moments of shared empathy, without needing to fill the space, that true connection is forged. Eleanor's story is not just hers. It's the story of thousands of seniors across the world, men and women who have lived long, meaningful lives, but find themselves facing old age with more memories than company. Perhaps you recognize parts of her journey in your own. Loneliness, as gentle as it sounds, is one of the heaviest things a heart can carry. It's not just a feeling, it's a profound absence, a yearning for connection that touches the very core of our being. It doesn't always come from being alone. Sometimes it comes from being forgotten. When your phone stops ringing, when Christmas cards don't come, when no one asks, "How are you doing today?" These small silences can echo so loudly, and yet, despite all this, Eleanor had maintained her warmth. She still smiled. She still dressed nicely to go out, even if it was just for a short walk to the store. It's a testament to the human spirit, isn't it? To find resilience in the face of quiet sorrow. Her strength was quiet, but it was beautiful. She wasn't bitter. She wasn't angry. She had simply accepted that life gives us some love stories that never quite finish, and some seasons that we must walk through alone. This acceptance, too, is a form of profound wisdom. When the man thanked her for sharing her heart, Eleanor replied, "I'm glad you stopped me. It's nice to talk to someone who listens." This simple exchange highlights the immense power of being seen, heard, and truly listened to. And with that, she smiled again, that same gentle, dignified smile, and walked slowly down the road until she disappeared around the corner. Her physical presence faded, but her story stayed, a poignant reminder of the unseen lives around us. If you're watching this, and you've ever felt like Eleanor, if the holidays feel quieter than they used to, if your best friend is no longer here, if you miss the warmth of being part of a family, know this: you are not forgotten. There are people out there who care, who understand, and who want to listen. Sometimes they just need you to let them in. It takes courage to reach out, but it also takes openness to receive. So call that old friend, visit that neighbor who lives alone, send a letter, even if it's short. These small acts of reaching out can bridge vast distances, both physical and emotional, and rekindle forgotten sparks. Because sometimes one small act of kindness can make a long, lonely winter a little warmer. It's a ripple effect, where one gesture of care can spread warmth and light far beyond its initial touch. And if you're one of the brave ones living alone, like Eleanor, remember, your story matters. Your resilience, your wisdom, your laughter, they make the world gentler for everyone around you. You carry a unique strength. You are a living testament to endurance, to the quiet dignity of facing life on your own terms. Never underestimate the profound impact your presence, your very being, has on those who are fortunate enough to encounter you. We invite you to share your own wisdom in the comments below. Have you experienced moments of profound loneliness or unexpected connection? What lessons has life taught you about growing old with grace and courage? If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Happy Grandpa 69. Let's keep sharing real stories that remind us all, even when life feels quiet, love still speaks in the most unexpected moments.